Hello, welcome back to our tale. So, we are going to continue from where we stopped yesterday with Zayden, um, with Violet falling into Zayden. Yeah, so she realized that he was still around and he knew she was there. Like, so Zayden was like, what is she doing? Like, is she trying to um eavesdrop on them and then report them to her mother? So she was not like, it's not like they're doing anything bad, it's not like it's a crime. At least he was trying to help those first years, so there is no reason for her to report. So he was like, is she sure? Like, are you sure? So she was like, what? Like, what's there? So he was like, he expects her to report them to her mom, at least for her to get some brownie points. So she was like, well, if he knew the relationship between her and her mom, he's not going to talk like that. And since he's not doing anything criminal, so there is no reason for her to report him and the other marked ones. So he was like, well, he hates to say this, but that means he owes her, like he owes her one, because she is keeping a secret for him. So well, he owes her one. So she was just like, huh. So they departed. Everybody went their separate ways, and challenges started. So um, people were winning their challenges. Then it was Violet's turn. But as per Auntie cannot, it's not like she cannot fight. She can fight, but she's breakable. So there's some maneuvers that normal person will do and just stand up and all that. She will do it and she will pop. So she cannot put herself through those experiences, you know. So she already got the materials that she was going to use to incapacitate her opponents, you know, which was what she was trying to get when she fell into raiding the other time. So our first opponent, she decided to sprinkle a little bit of poison down one's meal. She joined she joined the breakfast group just so that she could poison her opponent. So that by the time they are going to face each other on the challenge mats, they will either be like incapacitated, drowsy, lose their feet, that kind of thing, so that she was going to easily win the challenge and she was not going to get hurt. So she was doing that. She was doing that, and she was winning challenges. She felt, she was feeling like, yeah, I can do this. Mind you, she was not really testing herself, like her fighting skills. She just kept poisoning the people so that she could win. So by the time for, I think her fifth challenge or sixth, so she miscalculated. She miscalculated the the portion she was supposed to give that person. So the person ended up going to the last quadrants before the fight. So there was nobody for her to fight. So when their professor in charge of the challenges, Professor Emeterio, was it Emeterio? When the prophet, no, not Emeterio. Yeah, Emeterio. So when Emeterio called her name, so it was like, Violet, he's like, you don't have any, there's no, there is no opponent today for her, because the the opponent that she was supposed to fight, he lost his feet and then he had to be taken to the last quadrant. So she was like, oh, okay. So I guess, so she was like, okay, she guess she just step down since there is no opponent today. That was how Zedin was like, no, like she should not step down. He's going to take the place. Like, take which place? I'm first year, you are third year. So Dane was like, Zedin cannot do that. Like, he cannot do that. Like, the experience, the difference is far, is wide. So why is he doing that? So Zedin was like, are you trying to tell me what to do? So Dane said no, but but he cannot, you know. So he was like, so you should just shut up and mind his business. So it is just going to be. So he told Violet like she should not worry. It's just going to be a learning curve for her. So Professor Meterio, she just looked at Professor Meterio like, are you going to come to my aid? So that one just was like, he's your wing leader. Like, you can go ahead. She was like, okay, okay, well, you just want him to kill me. Simple. So when they started, Zedin was like, she should disarm him. Like he has some knives. No, he removed his knife, so it was like get, he should get, she should get him down. Like she should, you know. So she was like, are you so cocky that she cannot bring him down? She said, like she cannot bring him down. No. So they started. So when they started, he when he brought her to the mat, like she tried charging, he brought her to the mat. She tried another method, he brought her to the mat. So when he brought her to the mat, he told her like the first time he told her that instead of her poisoning all her opponents, she was like, what did you say? He said instead of you poisoning your opponents, you should actually learn to fight, to improve yourself. It is not every opponent that you can serve tea to. So she was like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know. So Zeddy was like, he knows what she's doing. Like, he knows she has been poisoning her opponents. So she was like, I'm not going to say anything to that. So he said, don't worry, your secret is safe with me, Violence. She was like, that's not my name. Said, but he's choosing to call her that because she has proven to be a violent little thing. So attack. So when she rushed him, he brought her down again. It was like she should. So he gave her his hand just to bring her out. But when she did that, he flipped her again. So she was like, he was telling her she should not like believe the enemy, that kind of thing. Like he's just trying to teach her how to go down on the mat. So he told her that next time, like she should try to actually fight. Like she should learn to fight. She should not be poisoning alone, kind of thing. So Dane was on the ring side and he was like, that's wrong, that's too much, that kind of thing. So Zedin was telling Violet, is he always like this? Like, is he always like this? So Violet was like, yeah, he's trying to protect her. Like, then Zedin was like, that's not protecting you, that's cuddling you, and you don't need it. So Jack was like, remember now, Jack fucking Barlow. He was like, Zedin can actually wring her neck. So Zedin was now told Violet like, she can actually throw, next time Jack makes a comment or like kind of like makes a comment to her, like she can throw a dagger at him. That way he will mind his mouth around her and will not be yapping unnecessarily. So she said, okay, thank you. So that session finished. So when she and Dane were together and they were talking, so Dane was like, he felt Zedin was going to kill her. She was like, she too, she felt it, but then it is what it is. So Dane was like, he doesn't like the way Zedin has his attention on her, that the training was out of it. So Violet was like, but he's our wing leader and he has the right to train her, at least considering she's the weakest link in the squad. So Dane was not like, okay, he spoke with Markham again. Okay, she was like, what happened? Is Mira not fine? Like, what happened at the outpost? So Dane was like, no, like Mira is fine. Like he talked to Markham and Markham said he's going to take her. Like he can still take her. Take me as how? Like she should go to the scribe quadrants and leave the riders quadrants. Guy. Like he's worried about her. She cannot survive in the riders quadrant. Like this place kills people. Kineko, yada yada yada. So she was like, guy. He said he doesn't want to bury her. So she was like, see, there is no, like one way or the other, either one of them is going to bury each other. She's not even trying to be macabre or anything, but it's the truth. So live with it and stop trying to get her to go to the scribes court. And she's not going, she's staying here. So she just left then. So moving on. So part of the next path of their the next part of their course is the gauntlet. Now they have to pass that gauntlet before they can bind dragons. That gauntlet is like a kind of challenge that will actually show that they can bind dragons and they can climb, they can climb dragons. So the course, when she got to the course, she saw that it was like she just kept looking up, like when will this thing end? It was just so tall. Then it has some it was basically obstacle challenge, and it was daunting. It was daunting, especially for her. So the first practice that they did, there was another girl in our squad, Aurelie. Aurelie is also a legacy. Let me use that word because her father is a rider, her brother. The way Violet is too. Yeah, that's the way that Aurelie too is. Just that Violet is higher. Well, you get. So that Aurelie was like she has been training all her life for this gauntlet. Like that's what her father and her brother has always been training her on. So she gave Violet some tips, like there's some, is it bars, so that swings both ways. So if you are still on that point, the swinging bars can push you off and you die. See, everything at that gauntlet, just you fall, you die. Either the spikes at the wall, either they impale you, either the swinging back, that kind of, it's just, everything is just meant to kill you, except you're able to climb to the top. So that already told her that when she loses her footings, like she can actually grab the rope, like there's a rope. So she was like, she doesn't know that. That was like, well, her sibling told her already, like, so she can grab rope, although she's going to miss 10 seconds of the mark, but she can grab rope. So she said, okay. So she passed the first 2 stages. By the 3rd stage, she could not go further. So it was when she was at that point that Aurelie was already going. That was how one of those swinging bars just hit the Aurelie girl, and she fell and she died. Like Violet was like, it was the thing shocked her, and it's kind of like made her, it's not even kind of, it's made her lose hope. Like it's made her despair. Like the person that has been training all her life for this course, for this challenge, actually fell to this challenge. So she was like, how is she that she doesn't even know about it, how is she going to like climb to the top and then get it? Plus couple the fact that she's very short, so she cannot reach the upper part. See, there was a part that she had to run, and then it is that momentum that she's going to, like, after she runs and jumps, and she's going to get hold of that. But she's short, so we go getting to, she cannot reach, so she is short. So when their custom in their country, to use that word, their kingdom, is when a person dies, they burn the person's belongings. Yeah, part of commending to Malik. Malik is the god of death, so they burn the person's item. So Violet now, she felt she owes it to Aurelie to be the one to burn effects. So she packed Aurelie's package, and then when she was packing her load, she realized that the pack that Aurelie has is like ×2 of her own. So she was thinking that somebody that could carry that much load across the parapet, only for her to fall at the gauntlet. Like, it was not making sense to her. Like, which kind of stupid quadrant is this one? Like, can anybody even win in this quadrant? So when she went to burn the effects of Aurelie, She was there mopping, thinking like maybe she should actually go to the scribe quadrant. Maybe the writer's quadrant is not for her. So she saw them, Zayden. She was running with that night. So she saw Zayden dismount from his. No, she saw that he was coming from somewhere with his friends and cousin Bodhi and Garrick. So he told the others to go. So he came to her like, "What are you doing?" So she was like, "Nothing." She was just burning the effect of Aurelie. So Zeddy was like, "Are you not going to ask where I'm coming from?" She said she doesn't care. Whatever, wherever it is you're coming from, it's none of her business. So like, okay, what is wrong with you? She said nothing. Like this quadrant is just made to kill you. So Zeddy said, "Yes, I thought you know that like it's meant to kill you, but it is your job to make sure that what is meant to kill you does not kill you and you find a way around it." So she said, so he asked her again, "What is wrong?" So she now said, she's too short for the gauntlet, like she cannot make it. And a cadet have to make that gauntlet before they can even proceed. Like it is a must, it's not optional, it is a must that you pass it. So like she cannot make it, like she's too short. So he now told her that Zeddy now told her that the right way is not the only way, so she should figure it out. So he shall left her. So on the day, the assessment day for gauntlets now, it was her turn. She started it. She reached the normal level that she was able to reach with her short self. So remaining the next levels, the next two levels. So for her to progress to the next level, so she just decided to use the rope, the rope that was hanging around down the wall. She used that rope. She was able to proceed to the next level, which was wrong, but she used it. Then for the final part that she had to run and then touch and then climb up. So she made the running leap and she brought out one of her daggers that she crossed the parapet with. So she, like, she ran. She used that dagger as a handhold against the wall. Then she launched herself over. So our friends were just so excited. Riddick, Rhiannon, and Sawyer. Those are our friends in the squad. Na year mates too. So they were excited. That was how the wing leader for the second wing, Amber Mavis. So she was like, she cheated. she cheated. Violet, she cheated. So she's disqualified. So she went, Amber went to Zayden like, is he going to allow dishonesty in his swing? Like she cheated, obviously she cheated and she's disqualified. So Zayden was not like, Violet. So she said, okay, like for using the rope, she's going to allow the 10-second deduction from her overall time. But for using the knife, according to article yada 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 section of the codex, like an item that a rider carries across the parapet is considered as part of them. So Amber was not like, you cannot quote that codex to her, because that addendum was added so that people will not steal another cadet's effect. So she was like, well, the dagger, she considered the dagger a part of her, and so she can use it to actually win the gauntlet. More so, it is not a challenge dagger. So she brought the dagger as well and she showed her like, it is not a challenge dagger, it is blunt, so she can use it since she considers the dagger as part of herself. So Zeddy was just like, well, she got you there. So Amber was like, no, on a technicality. So Zeddy was like, yeah, but she still gets you, like she still got you. So she was like, Amber was not like, you think like a scribe. Like she kind of like insulting Violet, like she thinks like a scribe. Violet was like, yes, I accept. So when she left, Amber left in annoyance now. So Zayden was just like, you are leaking. So she realized that she has broken her nails and then her hand. Now she's not a normal person, so everything must hurt. So fix it. Her friends shall help her to fix it. And she was just glad, like, I made it, I passed the test, I passed the test, I passed the test. So after that, after the last cadet has passed the gauntlet, so the next stage is for them for presentation, whereby they are going to go into the veil. The veil is where the dragons are, like that's where the dragons live. So after gauntlet, immediately after gauntlet, they go into the veil for presentation, where all the dragons that have agreed to bond this year, they kind of like line up. Then cadets comes in and they just like walk. So those dragons, you check them out, that kind of thing. Like if they feel like okay, just like get a feel of each other, that kind of thing. Before threshing, threshing is when bonding actually occurs. So the rule was each they were to line up, but they should put 15 feet between them. So Riddick was like, so when Garrick was telling them, that's Zayden's best friend now, when he was telling them that they should keep that feet between them, so Riddick was like, is it because so that when the dragon burns somebody in front of you, it will not reach you? He said yes. So, or if you like, you can cluster anyone that you want. Because the dragon will not distinguish one. Like it is not going to pick the one that it wants to burn if you are in a cluster. So it's better you just put that 15 feet between you, so that if it burns the one in front of you, the fire is not going to get to you. So they went into the veil. So they told them to talk to each other, that kind of thing, like talk to each other, so that dragons will get a feel. So there were 7, I think there were 7. There were 7 that went into the, no, I think 8, yeah, there were 8. 8 went into the veil for presentation in our year, for our squad now. So they went in, so they were talking, just normal general chit chat. So when so they said there is a feather tail that came for the presentation, so like it is like a very small dragon. So somebody was like, there's never been a feather tail, like there's never been a feather tail. So one of them was, maybe it was curious, like they shot it. So when they got to the end of the line, they saw the feather tail, like it was like small compared to the other big dragons, like it was small. So one of our squad mates, Tyler, seriously, I don't care about his name, so Tile whatever. So he was like, so when he saw the feather tail, he was like, look at the freak. Like, well, the freak and Violet match. So Violet can bond that freak, but it cannot even bear any rider. Well, the weakest with the weakest. So they're not like, are you supposed to be saying this in front of these dragons when they can easily just burn all of us? Do you have little disregard for your life or for our own lives? So when they reached the end of the line, they had to turn back to go back out. At least the dragons have seen them. So when they were going back, Briannon, so one of our squad mates, Luca, she was like, the dragons are underwhelming. Like she expected them to be bigger, that kind of thing. So Rhiannon was like, seriously, like we are not under any pressure at all. Do you have to insult them? So that was like, hey, like after seeing the blue, like these ones that she's saying, they are underwhelming. So that was how Violet was not like, well, at least they are not wyvern. So Luca was not like, are you coming with your stories again that only you seem to know? Like, what are wyverns? So Rhiannon was like, you don't know what wyverns are? She said no. She said, okay, wyverns are like from the fable. They are bigger than dragons and meaner, and then they eat humans, unlike the dragons as well. They just find you a little gamey, but wyverns eat human normally. So, and they have riders, but their riders are venom. Now, so she was like, that one, Luca was just like, like, So Rhiannon was like, but do you at least know that venoms channel they channel directly from the source. So she said, yeah, like she knows that. So Luca was like, mm. Because she was like, there is no power, like there is no magic that can, like she was like, everybody with an atom of sense, with a little bit of education, knows that the only power that can work within their words is the one that's generated by the dragons. So they are not burning anywhere, that kind of thing. So after that discussion, so Rihanna was like, guy, loosen up, it's 4 o'clock. So she faced front and she told another one of their squad members that was walking ahead of her, Piari, like, Piari, like, can you walk faster? So Piari was not like, yeah, does she think it's like, doesn't she think that it is okay to walk slowly? Or do you think we have to go like, it was just kind of that guy is very confused, like, don't you think it is good that we go slower? That was how one of the reds, the dragon, that one just stepped out of line and burnt Piori. So, so Rihanna was like, Piori, Piori. So Violet was like, yeah, like Sawyer just told like, okay, like just step around the pile. Like she should just step around the pile so that they will continue moving. So she stepped around the pile and they were going. So when Luca reached the pile, she was just like, oh my god, the smell. So Violet was so angry. She turned back like, are you okay? So when she turned back, she saw Riddick's eye. That's another one of our squad mates, her friend. She saw Riddick's eye widen and it was like, Violet. So that was when she felt the breath of one dragon on her nape. Like one dragon is directly behind her and then another one is at her side. So she looked back, like she had to turn back and she saw that she was directly in front of them and dragons were smelling her. Like one was smelling her neck, the other was smelling so one was her hand that was bandaged, one smelled it. So she was like, she injured herself during Gauntlet. So she was telling the dragon like she injured herself during Gauntlet. So she burned, like that's why the bandage was there. So that dragon looked at her. Then it's like smelled her again, put its nose directly on her. So it was obviously the dragons were smelling, the two dragons, because one was at her back too. It was smelling her. And when they smell, like after the smell, they will chuff. So she knew they were communicating with each other, but she doesn't know what they were saying. So the thing continued, like they will smell her, chuff, smell. So she was just like, what's going on? Hey, hope this two are not going to kill her. Like she was just hoping she's not going to end up being launched. So she was like, okay. That was how she just remembered that she was wearing that armor that her sister gave her. So she was just like, oh, you smell tiny. So when she mentioned the name, the dragon directly in front of her was like, So she said, like, what you smell is tiny, like it's scale. So like it's her sister gathered the scale last year when it shed. So and she made it into an armor for her. Like that's what you are smelling. So from the expression and the sounds those dragons make, like, okay. So she was like, so she just told them like it's only Mira and Tiny that knows about the ammo. So and the ammo has really helped her, like, so those dragons just choved and so they stepped back. You get, like, they stepped back. So Rihanna was like, Violet, are you okay? Like Violet was like, yeah, but it's like she lost 10 years of her life there. So Rihanna was like, yeah, me too. Like, because she was so scared, she thought they were going to eat her at that point. So Violet said, yeah, me too. So she was not like, okay, like the smell. So she told her conspirationally, like, they smelled the armor that she was wearing that sister made for her. That was how Luca, the annoying girl, just said, yeah, like she thought those dragons were going to eat her. At least she was like they thought they were going to eat Violet. Like she was annoying, she's annoying. Yeah. So she hasn't even finished that tirade before one dragon burns Luca. So Riddick was like, well, I guess the dragons find her annoying too. So that was the end of presentation. They just left. So I think we are going to continue from threshing tomorrow. Take care. Bye. Yeah.